Sunday. Them crickets is snapping out. You hear that?
What'd you say?
Them crickets is tweaking. Them crickets is tweaking out.
Yeah.
You ain't mad at me?
Huh?
You ain't mad?
No, not more.
Oh, okay, cuz. That's good. If y'all didn't see my movie review, check it out. Didn't see the live I did. I mean, short I did. Check it out on this channel. Now. So, check it out. If you enjoy it, let me know. If you don't enjoy it, it's okay to be brutally honest with me about it, but it's a pretty good movie that I seen. I really, really liked it a lot. Like, it was very well crafted, very well put together, and all that stuff. So I highly recommend you guys check it out. I'm sure you'll like it too. A Stranger is Watching. It's pretty intriguing. For 1983, for a 34-year-old film. No, 41-year-old film. It's pretty interesting. The plot and all that shit. And we got somebody viewing my live. Who is this? Who's viewing my live? Is it? Is it SCAC? Oh, did they just left my room? So they joined and then they left. That shit's funny. I get that a lot happening on my channel though. Like somebody will join the live and then they'll leave the live stream. Which I'll be like, seriously, you come to watch, interact with me, talk to me, and all that good shit. You know? I got these fucking pimples. It's acne though. I'm gonna have to look up good remedies to get rid of this shit though. Damn, my eyes is crispy. Crispy. I got bumps and shit. Jesus Christ. I got my homie finna put me on. I'm gonna stop looking and just let it happen naturally. Today, I don't know what I'm watching as far as the scary movie goes. I don't know if y'all share the same philosophy, but when I say this, I mean this. The only person that could probably replace Robert Englund in Nightmare on Elm Street is fucking Kevin Bacon from that one scary movie I watched a while ago. I forget what it was called, but it was like a robotic, atmospheric type of film that he was in and shit. And he was transforming into something dangerous and all that. It was crazy, but I enjoyed it. If they can get Robert Englund, that would be special because it's the original cast. A movie who does that the right way and did the right way and went out the right way was Subspecies. All the films that they did had the original casters, and I applaud that. I applaud that. Like, from the final movie from 2023, it had Radu. It didn't have no random character. It had him, it had Michelle from the original, which I admire, which I can respect. when you go out replacing the original cast of characters, it can never feel the same. That void will always be missing for some, not all, but for some. Because it started with Michelle and Radu, the character Andrews Hove. It started with Michelle Morgan. So for them to be replaced, it would have like thrown the whole point out the window. If that's what I'm trying to say. There would have been no purpose to even having a subspecies film, because what could they have done that like amped up that story even more with new cast members? I mean, if you're a creative genius and you have the creative instilled in your mind, I'm sure they could have, but the original cast members were always the familiar faces that I was familiar with. So if I seen a new Radu and if I seen a new Michelle, I would have been like, damn, they got a new cast of characters. And it's the same premise that I respect throughout all the films too. Radu heals, drinks blood, turns somebody into a vampire. It's an easy premise to understand. It's easy to understand. It's not hard to understand that, like, he's a vampire. He turns other people into vampires. Simple as that. He has this relationship with Michelle by turning her into a vampire. Then they start their relationship. At the end of the movie, 2023, I'm not going to spoil it, the final film, stuff goes down. You got to watch that one. It's called Bloodstone versus Subspecies or whatever. Good movie. Great film for a 30-year-old trilogy that's been around for a while, since 1991. And I'm sure that's the last one. They got to end it like that. They can't keep making subspecies films. I'm sorry. That was the perfect way to end that movie, the 2023 movie. That's it. They cannot continue to make the movies. Radu dies, and that's that. He dies in every film, for real. Like, it's the same ending in every film, for real. The same process, the same pattern. But I'd say the new one, he suffered his most gruesome death ever. Yes, he died pretty bad in the first and other few movies by flying out of a flaming building, but I'd say the final one, hopefully this is the final subspecies film, but I'd say this one in 2023, he suffered a very gruesome death, like very gruesome. He was decapitated and such, but other than that, I'm not giving out any more spoilers. If you haven't seen Subspecies, go check it out. I already talked to you guys about it on my channel. It's a very good series. It's a very intriguing, captivating series about a vampire. And this is before the Edward Jacob Bella stuff, you know. I already know that, so I'm not going to explain that. It's easy to notice. It's a simple premise. It's way more simpler than Subspecies. You feel me? I know you ain't seen this series before. Is that you, cuz? Oh. I was going to say, I know you didn't see Subspecies before. But, yeah, I thought it was a pretty good series, trilogy of movies for vampire movies and stuff. When you put that in the class of like which type of vampire movies has to get watched, you have to see Subspecies is one of them. Twilight, that's like, how can I say that? Twilight's like in that middle ground. Like half the fan base probably loves that shit. The other half probably not too high on it, not so big on Twilight, you feel what I'm saying? But Subspecies, I very much enjoyed it. Like the character of Stefan, Radu, Michelle, Rachel, but you know, Rachel's replaced by this other girl, the original Rachel, who has the relationship with Stefan, who's Radu's brother. Stefan, something ends up happening to him. I like the look of Radu too. Like, he really looked like a vampire with the all black but he was ugly as hell. No homo. So even though a whistle's not straight, a whistle's round. But yeah, I really liked Subspecies a lot, yeah. Like, it's gonna leave a legacy for a long time. But I definitely rank it above Twilight. Subspecies, that's definitely above Twilight. It's not hard to see why. You can't even debate that. Like, let's be honest, Twilight, what can I say about Twilight compared to Subspecies? Twilight wasn't willing to take it to the levels of what they did in Subspecies. That's what made that movie special. Twilight was special, don't get me wrong, for battling vampire and a werewolf and all that. That's a different story from Subspecies. Subspecies is Radu falls in love with a girl. He traps her into a vampire. Then he does that repeatedly to everybody else that he comes into contact with. It's like this dude's in love with drinking blood and eating flesh, like biting people just to get some, how can I explain this? Him turning people into vampires and all this, and that is like his way of survival. It's like a survival tactic for that guy, Radu. That's why he did it so much, because it was a survival tactic. He was ugly though. I can't stress this enough. The man was ugly as hell, but at least he fit the part of what a vampire should look like. Not that Robert Pattinson's character, Edward, didn't fit the mold of how a vampire should look back in the day, but he didn't do it as well as a Radu from the 1991 Subspecies movie, you feel me? He was decent looking as a vampire, but Radu, I gotta hand him that one. He looked incredible when it comes to how you should look as a vampire. Incredible. Just incredible. But what other vampire movies? Dracula. Bela Lugosi. That's a classic. Dracula, the original classic. These movies are above Twilight, way above Twilight. I'm debating this. Let's debate this right now. Twilight's got nothing on Bela Lugosi and Andrew's Hove. The look doesn't add up. The look doesn't match up. He looks decent, don't get me wrong, but nothing can compare to. But I'll put Bela Lugosi above Andrew's Hove. You can't. Bela Lugosi, I'd say he was the first one to put this vampire shit on the map when it comes to who is the best vampire. So we're gonna do a tier list on live. You know, I know no nigga probably ever did this. It's gonna be between them three. I don't know any more vampires. I'll do it this way. So it goes this way. Bela Lugosi, number 1 for me. Number 2, Andrew's Hove. Number 3, Edward. Those are the top 3 vampires in my category, how that order goes. Edward's last. Bela Lugosi first. Andrew's Hove second. Unless there's other people who have done that part and looked that part way better than those two. I don't know. Like, people can debate that if they want yourself, but I don't think I've ever seen any more vampire movies to really debate that, though. That's why I'm saying those 3. Bela Lugosi, Andrew's Hove, and Robert Pattinson's Edward. but it's a debatable thing. It's, I feel like it's honestly going to be like your opinion. How you feel is how you feel. But nothing touches Bella Lugosi. Nothing. Sorry to Andrew Hove, but not even Andrew Hove. I enjoyed it, but when it comes to Dracula, the original Dracula, hands down a classic, freaking amazing film. Great cinematography, great shots, great characters, just all around great cast for the time. Rest in peace, Bela Lugosi, man. Like, I put him in that tier list of great horror actors such as Vincent Price, such as the guy who was in Halloween as the Doctor, Robert Englund, like amazing classic horror icons that can never be replicated, can never be duplicated. There can never be another one of those. Just like John Carpenter, Wes Craven, you name them, are some great directors. Nobody can touch those guys. Nobody. Stephen King, I'll put Stephen King on that. Like a lot of stuff Stephen King done made, bro. I don't think nobody will be really willing to take that risk trying to match up to it. You feel me? Because he's just a great director. Yes, he probably had some misses, but there's gonna be some people. I want to watch a Stephen King movie later. Matter of fact, something I haven't seen, a really, 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 I'm talking really good Stephen King film. Because I done seen a pretty decent amount of Stephen King films, but The Wicker Man. Ooh, you want to talk about? People think that's a bad movie though. People don't like it, but I did enjoy like the flaming, burning scene where dude was basically assassinated by burning on a cross. I did enjoy that scene. But people bashed that movie like crazy. People did not like Wicker Man. Like, I was going through the comments and people saying this and that. Like, they did not like that film whatsoever. I watched the Blob remake another time, honestly. I was going to watch that, but I seen the original. I can always watch it at some point. I want to watch some Stephen King film later. Of course, his movies, his most classic, unforgettable. Wow. Tim Curry. Ooh, I gotta put Tim Curry in that list. Tim Curry is amazing. I can't stress this enough. Tim Curry is charismatic. He makes you believe in his characters, and he was genuinely scary as Pennywise, the clown, in the original It the movie. Like, that shit, it had me on edge a little bit. I'm not going to cap, and I usually don't get scared. I don't get scared of scary movies, but when I seen the original It, when I seen that movie, bro, I stress you. When I seen that movie, I was on edge, boy. The shit that Tim Curry was willing to do in that movie, top notch. Of course, I like Hellraiser, but man, it's ahead of his time. It is really ahead of his time. Now, the remake, that shit trash. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Other people might like it, the remake, but I can't even stand it. I can't stand the remake of it. I really can't. I couldn't even focus on it. I really couldn't. But people have debated. Me and my ex used to debate, is it the kid's fault in the film for trying him, or is it his fault for what he's doing? I'd say it's their fault because they know how Pennywise is. It's the kid's fault. But then again, he shouldn't be out here tormenting little kids. Like, that's wrong. But anyway, I'm gonna hop off this